Hello everyone, I'm Harry Donahue and welcome to Inside Golf. Our guest today is a man of 1,000 voices. All right, make it 2,000. He's entertained Philadelphia sports fans for years on sports radio WIP. And he's a Philly guy. He grew up in Olney. To paraphrase Jim Nance, he's an entertainer and talent unlike any other. It's Joe Conklin. And Joe joins me next here on Inside Golf. The 26th season of Inside Golf is presented by Destination Montco Golf. Your next golf getaway is in Valley Forge in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. Visit valleyforge.org. By the First Tee Greater Philadelphia. The First Tee not only helps young men and women become better golfers, but most important, better people. Get involved. Visit firstteephiladelphia.org. By the Philadelphia Association of Golf Course Superintendents, a community of professionals enhancing the game of golf since 1925. Make sure you thank your golf course superintendent today. By the Golf Association of Philadelphia, GAP, celebrating amateur golf since 1897. By Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine, a digital publication and private business network. Read the current issue free at jerseymanmagazine.com. And by Inside Golf's partner since 1998, the Philadelphia PGA section, the experts in the game and business of golf.
Golf is the great equalizer. For many, this journey is an escape from reality, a chance to be part of a team, a career opportunity. PGA Reach impacts lives through golf by lifting people up, giving them hope, and sending them down an alternate path that they never saw coming. With PGA Reach Philadelphia, as in life and in golf, the most important shot you take is the next one.
The Golf Association of Philadelphia. Founded in 1897, GAP is the nation's oldest regional or state golf association. We serve amateur golf in Eastern PA, Southern New Jersey, and all of Delaware. GAP welcomes all golfers, junior or senior, male or female, public or private. Join the Golf Association of Philadelphia today. Our mission is always to preserve, protect, and promote the great game of golf. Before you tee it up, look us up. Visit gapgolf.org to find out more.
Welcome back to Inside Golf as we're here at Cedarbrook Country Club. Great weather, great guest, Joe Conklin. As I said in our opening, Joe, you are a Philly guy. What part of Philly? I know the answer, but share it with our audience.
Greater Olney section of the city, Olney Heights as they call it, St. Helena's Parish.
There you go. And I was a little older than you in the neighborhood, sitting on the steps before you were born. Now you said Olney. It's really Olney.
It's
like Acme and
two syllable. Yeah, it's
Acme.
very similar to Acme.
Well, you kind of dragged that third syllable in.
I don't know. It's how it goes. Olney.
Okay, a man of 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 voices. I don't know. You put a number on it. He probably could do it for you. But as a kid, is that when it all started? I mean, for an impersonator like yourself, how did it start?
Well, it starts in the family. You know, I'm one of 7. Irish Catholic, and there's a lot of activity, a lot of jokesters. You know, my father he did a lot of voices. He used to imitate Bishop Graham in the house.
Bishop Graham was the pastor of St. Helena's Parish.
He would call the home. My dad sung funerals, so the bishop would call the house. Jim, we have at 10 o'clock on Wednesday and day 11, it's a doubleheader. And, you know, so I grew up, my dad's brother was nuts. He was a crazy uncle. I had 2 older brothers that everybody in the house did Bill Campbell, you know. Oh, are you kidding me? Oh, my. You live at? Oh, baby. So this is how I grew up. You know, I'm the 6th of 7. Since I was like 5 and 6 years old, I always did the voices.
I'd have to assume that some voices are easy to do, to impersonate than others. What makes a voice, for you at least, easier to do than others?
You know, if it's got some quirkiness to it, if it stands out in your ear there, you know, anything that, whoa, what was that? I got to, you know, this guy, you know, I got a guy on the news that's talking like us all the time, you know, well, that attracts my attention. And then you start imitating, you know. So I don't know, some quirkiness is the easy. When somebody's normal, it takes a little more, it takes a while more. Sometimes I never get them, you know.
Right.
They got to tip their hand a little.
You mentioned Bill Campbell. He had certain common expressions that he used, like, what?
Correct.
What? Harry Callis is another one, you know, outta here. So, I mean, all you have to do that one time, everybody is roaring in the aisles, right?
Well, you have to, those are the hooks, you know. You want to play the hooks that they say, then the voice is recognizable, the person's recognizable. So, yeah, you got cadence, you got the terms and expressions they use, and the tone of the voice, you know.
Everybody knows Joe from sports radio, 94 FM WYP. No, that's my Merle thing there. But, you know, you do other events. You do, I'm sure, a lot of banquets. You do golf outings, and we're here at Cedarbrook Country Club in Bluebell, where, I don't know, have you ever appeared here at an outing?
Many times.
Really?
Bucky, yeah.
What do you think your average demographic is at a golf outing, and what do they want to hear?
I think the audience, well, thank God for the radio, of course, just like you. You know, you recognize, I've built an audience by my appearances on the morning show with Angelo Cataldi over the years, you know, and Jody Mack show before that. So the radio has been everything to me. And people, my audience is the people that listen have heard me on the radio. So when they hire me live, they want to hear the stuff that they hear on the radio. So the audience is basically heavy male. You know, it's not exclusive to males, but heavy male, you know, my age, your age, you know, over 35 to 80, you know.
Absolutely. Connor Moore, in case our viewers aren't familiar with him, and if they're golfers, they probably are. He does outstanding, my opinion, impersonations of golfers. And I know you've seen some of his work, even though you don't play the game or not. But let's show our viewers a little sample of Connor Moore. And I'd be curious to your evaluation and maybe report card on what he's doing.
You know, a couple of bumps and bruises, you know. I've a sprained thumb and a broken chest bone from all the, you know, but I feel good. Delighted with the win. Yeah, you know, it's incredible, you know, to win the Ryder Cup is always amazing, you know, but my record is so impressive, I think, you know. I don't think those guys like to play against me. I'm just so good, you know.
Why do the Americans hate playing against you in the Ryder Cup?
Because every time they miss a shot, I go like this. I love the Ryder Cup, man.
You delivered again today, Ian. Is that why they call you the postman?
Well, I'm not no ordinary postman. I'm the only postman I know that delivers on Sundays. Oh, bloody hell, Ian.
So that's Connor Moore. I thought he does a great, maybe his best was Ian Poulter. But I'm just impressed with you and with him and anybody that does that for a living, how you guys can just capture, for whatever it is, 30 seconds, spot on impersonations.
I don't know the answer to it, honestly.
It comes easy for you, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's something genetic and something, I don't know how, it's like that course we had at Temple, communication theory, frequencies and sounds. I don't know how to explain it. It just kind of happens. It comes from just a straight up mimicking. I mimic every sound, every voice that I hear. Some of it sticks and some of it doesn't. That guy's really good. He's got some really down cold impressions there.
He's still not as good as my guy.
Take all the time you
Joe
need.
Conklin. We'll be back with Joe Conklin. And we're talking about impersonations and how he's made a living doing them. He's really good. That's next on Inside Golf.
Hi, Tony Salucci with the Beacon Group of Companies. If your company has between 50 and 500 employees enrolled in your health insurance plan, there's a really good chance we can reduce your costs significantly and increase the benefits employees receive. How do we do it? We put you together with several thousand employers of a similar size across the country so your company can get amazing buying power. Schedule a conversation with one of our employee benefits specialists today at mybeacongroup.com.
Welcome back to Inside Golf, talking with Joe Conklin, Greenside. How about this? Joe Conklin, Greenside, Cedarbrook Country Club in Bluebell. We're talking about Joe's career as an impersonator. He's the best. You remember the first time that you actually got paid for doing impersonations?
I'm pretty sure it was because you do all kind of amateur nights and gong show nights, they used to call them in the 80s, you know, open mic.
Sure.
And I think it was Tommaso's Pizzeria, at 8th and Oak Lane. Tommy Tomaso, I don't know if you remember that spot.
Now, what was the event?
The event was, hey, Tom, I'll bring some people up here if you let me do a show. They had it was a pizzeria. They had rooms on the side. They had 2 rooms. So I said, I know I can get 50 people up there.
Wow,
so you
that's
got
a big night for Tomaso,
Sure,
right? Yeah.
and a big night for Alney. We're going out to Oak Lane.
So what do you do, pass like a hat or one of those big tin
No,
plates around? And
I need $40 tonight. Can you pay me $40?
And a
Can
couple
you pay
pies?
me $50? And a couple beers and a pizza. So yeah, it was all, it was all incremental. You work for, I remember getting to the plateau of $50 was a big deal.
Wow.
And then, it hasn't gone up
Yeah,
much
right.
for comics.
Yeah,
And,
you've you hit the ceiling, huh?
it was 50, 75, and 100 for an MC, middle, and a headliner back then. And sorry to say, it has not changed that much.
Yeah, some things never do.
Some comics get no respect.
When you decide you're going to do something, you write your own material?
I don't. I have a lot of help.
Do you?
My main guy is Mike Doherty. He's been with me for more than 30 years.
What's his day job?
He's retired now, but he used to work for SEPTA on the overnight.
Oh, wow.
He would work the overnight shift. I would send him, I would call him or email him. Email wasn't even around when we first started. And I would give him instructions, and I'd wake up and all these jokes were, it was brilliant. And he's got an amazing, quick mind. But all during the radio, my producer, Joe Wechter, helped me a lot. Al Morgani used to give me jokes. But Mike Doc, still with me, still firing out wonderful
So Mike
material.
Doc and some other people would give you some material, and do you then record it, play it back, and just make sure it's a good impersonation?
No, you got to do it live. You got to do it on stage, and I would always see the reaction. I kind of think with the development of an impression, like I said, I'll imitate just about everybody. But if I want to try to get a guy down, like the Eagles coach or a politician, I'll just start doing them in my small crowd and my friends, family around the house, and eventually I'll think that it's ready to say in front of somebody, or they'll give me feedback. Nah, it's not there, a little too fast, cadence, try this word. Some people will give me honest feedback. And then you just get up on stage and do it, put it in the act and see how it flies.
Who are your favorites?
You know what, Chief? One of my favorites is not doing that well today, but Dr. Cheswick here and of course Jack Nicholson. Harry the K. Harry, great to meet you, Harry.
That's a classic.
Harry versus Harry. And some of our politicians, some of our current politicians are...
Charles Barkley falls on that list. You like
And
Charles?
Iverson, too. Hey, Harry Donahue got me on. Why don't you have me on the golf show? Everybody else except me. You ain't had me on the golf show yet. You even had you must be a knucklehead. You had Allen Iverson on before me. I love Harry Donahue. He the man. Me and Harry, we go to after hours club sometime. Harry, y'all been to the Osmond Post?
I refuse to answer that question.
Y'all been to the Democratic Club on Fifth Street?
I'm going to plead the fifth, AI.
It's hard.
Did you ever get anybody upset with you? And like they reach out to you either in person or whatever and said, hey, I'm not very appreciative of what you're doing.
Yeah, it's happened a handful of times. Not recently, though. I think so much has changed in sports and the world and everything. I mean, look at WIP. We actually get along with the Eagles now. We have them as guests. I mean, we were positioned as such. We felt that as far, Philadelphia is a tough media market, right? And these writers are tough. Well, the radio has to be tough too. And on our show, we used parody, satire, and ridicule effectively. And we went after these teams a little bit, and the coaches and the decisions and all that. But now it's partnerships, and I got sat down one day, taken out to lunch by one of my bosses and said, do you realize if we don't have the Eagles, neither you or I have a job? So that is a new reality. So we got away with a lot more too. And yeah, I remember at one point Ricky Waters, dag, but hey.
For who, for what, Ricky Waters?
I mean, I'm gonna make plays. He had this nervous laugh, and I remember somebody saying, "Ricky's after you. He's coming. He's heard your stuff, and he's after you." I remember growing up
Did he
with
catch
somebody.
you?
He
No.
didn't catch me. Growing up with somebody who was after me, I was always had somebody after me. Don't go over to 4th Street. So and so's after you. So I had that. Dick Vermeil didn't really take
Coach Vermeil,
a shot.
huh? Yeah.
I spoke to him about a year ago. We did a job together. He's fine now.
Yeah.
But he had some. I remember I was at the Maxwell Club, which I don't do anymore because I'm disinvited to that. Because why would you invite somebody to your banquet if they're just come in and break your stones? You know. Because it's a nice night. You don't need me there, dirty and things.
But something happened at one of those Maxwell dinners with you and Dick?
No, beforehand. Remember when he was offered the job with Lurie, he went on very publicly and said, I was promised on two different occasions that I would have the job, and I'm not going to get down on my frickin' knees and beg Jeffrey Lurie to coach his football team. And we made hay out of that, and we had the fact that he said frickin', and if you misstep here and again, and if it's on media, we're gonna highlight it. So, the frickin' this and frickin' that. And we had Steve Frederick. How do, friend? I'm here with Dick Vermeil on frickin' Eagles Talk. Go ahead, Dick. And I introduced myself because I hadn't met him at the banquet. I said, "Hey, Dick, how you doing? I'm Joe Conklin. I'm the guy that's imitating you on the radio." He said, "Oh, I know who you are. I know who you are. You got that frickin' part down pretty good, don't you?" so there was some tension there, and I can see these are revered people. These are,
Sure. They're not used to getting a little pushback from a guy like you.
Exactly.
We're going to take a break. Be back with our teed off panel, and then we'll wrap it up with Joe Conklin, man of 1,000, 2,000 voices here on Inside
There's no
Golf.
proven success for the people who've gone to live tour.
Welcome back. Inside Golf now continues with our teed off panel. We have finally moved indoors for the season here at Lulu Country Club inside their beautiful clubhouse. And let me introduce the panel members. Jim Sullivan, he is the ambassador to Lulu Golf. Jim, hey, great job decorating the tree. I understand you were up till the wee hours.
Late nights the last couple nights.
Getting us ready for
for
the show today. Great look. We love coming here at the holidays. Oscar Mestre in his Christmas colors. Looking good, Oscar. He's the soon-to-be, can I say, former president of GAP?
Soon to be.
You got a couple days left?
Few hours left.
Three long years he's been the president of the Golf Association of Philadelphia. My old buddy, Mr. Joe Logan from myphillygolf.com. Joe, you have covered golf stories more than half your life, right?
About that.
75%.
A lot.
And everything, you can say almost anything you want about it. Nobody can be accountable anymore, it seems. But let's talk. The latest live rumor is that John Rahm may be on the brink of going to live for a paltry sum of $600 million. Is that possible?
Yeah, it's possible.
Huh? I mean,
it's very
really?
possible. And if it happens, the floodgates will literally be open. If John Rahm does it, it just signals to everybody it's okay.
He's a game changer.
He is a game changer.
Really?
More so, I think, than Mickelson, because so far most of the people who have gone to live, you could make the case that their best years are behind them, not in front of them. Rahm is right in the middle of his career.
Maybe
he's got
not
good
even the
years
middle.
left. Yeah, I know. So
He's only won, 2 majors? I mean, he could.
he is the current Masters champion.
And you know what's different about him as opposed to, like Joe said, some of these guys who are at the mid or maybe post-mid part of their career? He won the Masters last year. So he's guaranteed for life to play in them unless they change the rules, right? And I think he also gets exemptions for the 3 other majors
Right.
for a sizable amount of time. So he doesn't have too many worries, Oscar. So that's why you look at this guy maybe, in addition to the $600 million, which solves a lot of problems,
Right.
being a game changer.
Well, I don't disagree that it's $600 million is a game changer, and he's got some spots locked up in majors that can still help him with his golf legacy, which I think is important to him. What I disagree with, and I could be completely wrong, it's happened twice, but no, I'm just kidding. That I don't think the floodgates open. There's been no proven success for the people who've gone to live tour. So you can't point to somebody and say, oh, they went there and they've had a great career since.
there aren't many players that have gotten better once they went to Live. And I think that once $600 million goes out the door, I think everybody's going to feel like their next offer is not going to be as good for them. It's going to be an ego thing. But we'll see. I don't know. That's my gut reaction to it.
All right. Here's the sage on all this. Jim Sullivan. We await your words here.
Well, 12 months ago, Brooks Koepka's golf career was dead and gone, and he almost won the Masters, and he won the, what did he win, the PGA, or whichever he won. So he's one that certainly, whether Liv has anything to do with it or not, turned around his career and legacy in the last 12 or 15 months. $600 million, you would have to do it, right? I mean, for that kind of money, you could sit here and project Jon Rahm at, could he make a couple $100 million the next 10 years on the PGA Tour? Maybe, but 200 to 600 is bizarre. I do think it's very speculative at this point. I mean, we don't know, Liv and PGA announced a merger 6 months ago. Part of that merger agreement was no soliciting players. So this, to me, truthfully feels like Liv telling a story, trying to keep their brand and their name alive.
Relevant.
If there's real meat on this bone, I mean, if this actually happens in the next month, I disagree with Joe that it will open the floodgates, because I think the majors are the biggest thing. So Cam Smith had the majors, exemptions locked up. DeChambeau had exemptions locked up. Mickelson has exemptions locked up. Rahm has exemptions locked up. The 10th, 15th, 20th ranked players in the world, that if they all go, that's what really will legitimize Liv. They don't have the exemptions locked up. So the world ranking ruling recently went against Liv, and I think the major exemptions is the next biggest thing.
What will make it a game changer, in my opinion, is if they get a major TV contract. What they have now is helter-skelter. Nobody can watch it. You never know when it's on. It's streamed. It's not streamed. And the format. Rahm supposedly is holding out to have a 72-hole rather than a 54-hole event, which means they'd have to change the name of the tour.
That's right.
How do you say 72 in Roman numerals? I don't even know. But my point is, so he's trying to get that rearranged, okay? So if they could come to some sort of compromise on the format and then get a TV deal, then that's a game changer.
Sure.
When I say open the floodgates, I don't necessarily mean everyone will go. What I do mean is it will remove the stigma, because he's such an important player.
And he's young.
And he's young. If he does it, everybody that's the signal. It's okay to do it.
And he has history with Phil and Phil's brother from Arizona State. He's got a lot of history with maybe his best friend on the tour, Sergio Garcia, who is one of those guys who's post-mid-career, but now you got the young Spaniard. It's going to be...
Yeah, he's thoughtful and articulate,
Makes for an interesting topic.
Absolutely.
Right. That's what we're all about here on Inside Golf. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll be back. More of Inside Golf coming up. Designed by Donald Ross, Lulu Country Club is one of the premier private golf courses in Montgomery County. This classic 18-hole course boasts a new state-of-the-art clubhouse with many amenities for members to enjoy. Members are invited to play in events, tournaments, and enjoy guest privileges. For more information, contact membership@lulucc.com.
Okay, fam. Quick stop in Montgomery County, but we have to be at Grandma's by 5 p.m.
Do we have time to stop at the mall?
KOP! Yes! Do we have time to hit the slopes?
Skiing at Spring Mountain.
Do we have time for Santa? If we have time for wildlife at the zoo!
Do we have time for food?
I have a list of 1,800 restaurants. Yum!
Do we have time for an overnight?
I feel like we're forgetting something.
When you spend the holidays in Montgomery County, your other plans can wait.
Honey, call them again.
Welcome back Inside Golf. We're going to wrap it up for today here at Cedarbrook Bluebell. Joe Conklin, our guest. Always a pleasure to hear Joe, but to see him, wow, that's a double play. But getting back, you talked about radio.
We both belong on radio.
Yeah, tell me about it. We, knew you from WIP. That's probably the most exposure you got, and from that, everything else. But how did you get on WIP? How did that start?
Well, you know how it works. You send your tapes out to every radio station, and
waiting for a bite. Yeah.
Exactly. WIP was a classic fit for me, so I was definitely pushing harder there. One producer, a guy named Joe Wechter, he was producing Jody Mack's show at the time. He heard my tape. It was 10 inches from the trash bin, and it had been months since I sent it. He plays it. He said, "We got to get this on." Jody Mack calls me at home out of the blue. Holy Lord, Jody Mack. I like what you got here. I think we can fix you in. And so I started with Jody as a caller, unpaid. Every Thursday at 2 o'clock, I would do 10 minutes, 3 new voices, something like that, 3 different voices.
Wow.
And soon, the Morgani used to hear it. And Wechter had moved to the mornings. And I belong in the mornings with comedy, right? So they were replaying my stuff on the morning show. And it was around the time 90.
Still, you're getting this much for it,
Of
right?
course. It's radio. You don't get paid. So you have to absorb that and know that bigger things are going to come. And there's publicity with it anyway. I was doing stand-up at the time, so I was promoting my gigs. Eventually, Angelo said, let's get this guy on. And then it was, again, free stuff, a couple times a week. And then eventually, they wanted me as a part, so I got hired, a part of the show.
And the rest is history.
I guess so, yeah.
And what a history. Joe Conklin. For years, people have roared to him because he's good, he's local, and he's a superstar when it comes to impersonations.
Wow.
Thank you very much, partner.
Thank you,
Neighbor,
pal. That's
fellow
right.
Alaniite
3 syllables.
from the neighborhood. I'm talking about my man, Joe Conklin. Thanks for joining us here on Inside Golf and getting a lot of background info from this guy, Joe Conklin. Thanks, Joe. See you next week on Inside Golf. The 26th season of Inside Golf is presented by Destination Montco Golf. Your next golf getaway is in Valley Forge in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. Visit valleyforge.org. By the First Tee Greater Philadelphia. The First Tee not only helps young men and women become better golfers, but most important, better people. Get involved. Visit firstteephiladelphia.org. By the Philadelphia Association of Golf Course Superintendents, a community of professionals enhancing the game of golf since 1925. Make sure you thank your golf course superintendent today. By the Golf Association of Philadelphia, GAP, celebrating amateur golf since 1897. By Jersey Man and Philly Man Magazine, a digital publication and private business network. Read the current issue free at jerseymanmagazine.com. And by Inside Golf's partner since 1998, the Philadelphia PGA section, the experts in the game and business of golf.